Hey guys, welcome to Controversial Declutter. So there was a discussion in Supreme Court today about the recent farm laws which were passed and the ongoing protests for those farm laws. The laws which allow the farmers to sell their products to private player apart from the APMC mandis which are actually existing currently. The protesters want the farm laws to be repealed. There was a petition filed in the Supreme Court regarding the same. There was a lot of very good discussion arguments in the whole process, but I wanted to focus on a few of the points which were mentioned in the today's discussion, so especially three of them. So let me just share my screen and we'll go through them one by one. So this is the first one. So this one, the one I'm highlighting, the Chief Justice of India says there is not a single pleading before us which says that it is oppressive. I think this has been like slightly misreported. This is actually saying that there has not been a single pleading before us which says that it is not progressive. If you see the preceding argument, it says, CJ, I'm not understanding where you are, whether you are the part of the problem or the solution. And then as he says, we are part of solution. So many organizations have come to us from farmer unions and stated that the laws are progressive and that we should not give in. CJI says that there is not a single pleading for it which says it is oppressive. Now this is like laughable to me. Is it the expectation of Supreme Court that for every law which people like, everyone should go to the court and file a pleading that see this I like this law, this law is really progressive? It doesn't make any sense to me, right? Where in the world, which country in the world, or where in India, or when in India has this kind of precedence been set where you go to a court and say that, okay, I like this law is really progressive. So do you file a pleading for that? No, right? I mean, you only file a pleading if you have something to get repealed or to something to get corrected, or if you're not happy with something. You don't go and file a pleading saying that you are actually happy with something, right? So with this is something which I found weird and just wanted to speak a few things on. Okay, let's go to the second thing. Let me share my screen again. So the second thing was with the bar and bench, where they say, uh, the chief justice says, we propose to form a committee, and if the government does not, then we will stay the implementation of the Farm Act. What Supreme Court is saying that they are proposing the government to form a committee, and if the government fails to form a committee, they are not going to stay the act, but they are going to stay the implementation of the act. And the reason given for this is like there are people like the elderly and women who are sitting out there protesting in the cold of winter, and there are chances of loss of life and property, as well as there are chances of violence which can happen. I mean, to me, what I can see is Supreme Court really wants to protect the right of protests of these protesters, and they want to make a precedence where a protest is being handled successfully, and Supreme Court comes out as a responsible organization which actually wants to prevent the loss of life and property. But this is a two-sided sword, and the reason I say this is because it sets a very different precedent altogether. All it says is like, if you are willing to commit enough time to it and you have enough people, you can actually make Supreme Court pass a order to say the implementation of any law. I'm not an expert, but to me this seems like promoting anarchy and mobocracy, right? Tomorrow you gather say 50,000 people, or 1 lakh people around capital Delhi and siege everything and say that we want the income tax law repealed. Okay, so is the Supreme Court going to stay the income tax act until there are negotiations which say, and we can stay on our demand that income tax law has to be repealed, otherwise we won't end our strike? This is that kind of precedence that you can't actually go in and blackmail the Supreme Court into staying a law which has already been passed sometime a year back. So yeah, so it looks like to me that Supreme Court is wanting to set precedents of something different, and it's actually going to set some other precedent altogether. There's a third thing to it. This is like slightly off topic, but from within the same discussion. Here, Chief Justice of India says that I have spoken to former CJIP Sathvishram. He does not understand Hindi, so he can't be a part of the committee. So it's not very clear whether it was a decision of CJIP Sathvishram or it was a decision of Justice Bobde. from this statement. This seems like a weird to me. Why would not knowing or not understanding Hindi stop someone from being a part of negotiations committee, right? It's not a mandate to know Hindi for being in a committee. They can appoint a translator or some interlocutor in between. This is also something which I found slightly weird in today's discussion. So these are the three things which kind of stood out for me. And that is the discussion is a very interesting one. I will leave the whole thread in the discussion box so that you can go through the discussions yourself. Till then, stick around. Bye.